Hello, everyone. Thursday, July 21st, 2022, and 413 Sports Talk number 398 is yours. It's here. Pleased to see ya, and I hope you and your family are enjoying the summer. My football fans. Today I'm going to discuss with you the 2023 NFL Draft breakout candidates at the wide receiver position. Scores and insight from everything that went down last night as well. 398, and I'll start now. Sources say the Niners gave Jimmy G the okay to seek a trade. The quarterback looks to play elsewhere in 2022, and his agents have been granted permission to seek the trade. It should be noted that he is recovering from off-season shoulder surgery and has been cleared to practice as San Francisco prepares to start their training camp at the beginning of next week. They were trying to trade him when it was made public back in the spring, but he went under the knife in March, which kind of botched that whole idea. But now he is looking to play elsewhere. I believe Seattle and Cleveland might be places for Jimmy G to land. Probably Cleveland, he'd be electric, especially during Deshaun Watson's suspension. Local news right here. The Central Golden Eagle Jaden Bass, guy who I claimed to be the best offensive tackle on the East Coast, which is true. Three-star tackle offensive lineman has officially committed to the University of Syracuse. He joins former teammate defensive lineman Terry Lockett as both are representing the city of Springfield, Mass. Central High School, baby. To the fullest out there, and we wish you nothing but the best, Jaden. Hope you enjoy your collegiate career, and we look forward to seeing you play on Sundays, honestly. A former Pittsburgh Steeler and Colorado Buffalo star, Charles Johnson, has died at the age of 50. The cause of death is unknown to us at this point. At the time of his death, he was working as an assistant AD for Heritage High School in Wake Forest, North Carolina. It's a notable football school out there in the country. He was selected 17th overall in the 1994 NFL Draft. Played 5 seasons for the Steelers, catching 247 passes for 3,400 yards and 15 touchdowns. His best year as a pro was in 1996 when he caught 60 balls for 1,008 yards and 3 scores. Elsewhere, he played 2 seasons with Philly, 1 with Buffalo, and in 2001 with the Super Bowl winning New England Patriots, the Cheatriots as I used to call them. 4 seasons at Colorado in the standout. Only in his junior season, he had 1,149 yards, 5 scores to lead receivers for that team. He followed it up with a senior campaign of 1,082 and 9 touchdowns in 93. He will definitely be missed. Let's leave a moment of silence for the great Charles Johnson. And that is it for the news. Now we're moving on to a little something more relaxed. The NFL. I call this the Jimmy G situation. Jimmy Garoppolo granted permission to seek a trade. Here's my reaction. Garoppolo's agents were granted permission to pursue trade opportunities a while ago. According to leaked sources, not authorized to speak publicly until now, but that wasn't a new development because the NFC West franchise and Jimmy had publicly agreed on that status Thursday. No trade is imminent, though. Per league sources, for the last significant available quarterback that hasn't been traded following an offseason of seismic changes at the position, with Deshaun Watson, Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, Baker Mayfield, all landing with new teams. There are multiple reasons why this is simmering and uncontroversial. Situation is complicated and still at a crossroads of sorts. The 49ers have transitioned from Jimmy G to former North Dakota State standout and 2021 first-round pick Trey Lance as their new starter going into the future. Garoppolo underwent off-season surgery on his throwing shoulder, and he was recently cleared to participate in practice heading into training camp, per sources. The inflammation was down, wasn't really feeling any pain. The 49ers are expected to ramp up his activity level, though. That is dependent on his health. Of course, the brass's investment in him. It doesn't look like he's going to get traded now, but the fuel for the fire is definitely there, and there are definitely teams in need of his services. Let's just say that. Any interested NFL team will want to know that Garoppolo is fully healthy. His shoulder is not expected to be an issue going forward, as his rehabilitation has gone smoothly, with no setbacks per sources on that. And Garoppolo was injured during an NFC divisional round playoff victory over the Dallas Cowboys. But they won, because Dallas fucking sucks. Dallas fucking sucks. Anyway, and here is what's also important. Garoppolo, who's 30, no longer has a no-trade clause in his contract, as he did last year. He is due a non-guaranteed $24.2 million salary in the final year of his contract. Still making that paper. It's considered likely that any new NFL employer will want to adjust that contract, bring some of the guaranteed money down, to try to maybe build and bring more guys in. Some league executives said that Wednesday that they expect many teams to wait and see if the 49ers decide to ultimately cut Jimmy G if an adequate deal can't be worked out in time. So there was my piece on that. I think Jimmy Garoppolo will be a Seahawk when it's all said and done. And I believe he will make the season opener for them as well. I'm not really somebody who's confident in what's his face over there when they traded from Denver to Seattle in the Russell Wilson trade. Drew Lock, yeah. Knowing that Drew Lock was going to be my quarterback for 17 games, yeah. Shoot me in the head while you're at it. Anyway, we have more. 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan has previously acknowledged that Garoppolo could be traded, adding that the team won't simply give him away for like a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Of course, there are viable scenarios where Jimmy G could potentially stay as well, but he would be an expensive insurance policy if Lance gets hurt or struggles, which I think is what Kyle Shanahan's thinking here is keep him until we either have to get rid of him or an offer comes up that we can't refuse. Therefore, if Trey Lance falters, we have something better than Nate Solder sitting back there. Nate Sudfeld, I'm sorry. Browns and Seahawks are Raheem's potential landing spots for Jimmy G. That's what I'm thinking. Two teams that make the most logical sense for Garoppolo as potential landing spots: the Cleveland Browns, the Seattle Seahawks. The Browns have previously evaluated Jimmy, per sources, and are in the market for a backup to Jacoby Brissett if the 3-time Pro Bowl quarterback Deshaun Watson is suspended for the entire /and/or majority of the season. With his status still being contemplated by disciplinary officer Sue L. Robinson, a decision is expected to happen until roughly July 24th or the 25th, according to sources. The Browns have $48 million in salary cap space available, meaning they got enough bank to make anything happen. So at least for the first few years of a player's contract, even if it is something a little bit big. He would be a strong fit in Coach Kevin Stefanski's run-centric offense built around Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. The Seahawks could definitely use Garoppolo's services as well. His familiarity with the division is something that they love, so that's like 2, 4, potentially 6 wins for them next year. It's hard to see the Niners trading Garoppolo, whom they have a ton of respect for. He's been around the league, got his rings backing up Brady. Still, though, he's arguably a significant upgrade to Geno Smith and Drew Lock, as I talked about again, who are competing for the starting job. And oh man, it's rough. It's rough. the Seahawks would have to make it really worthwhile and sweeten the trades, from what I believe, for anything to kind of go down. Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll is in a win-now mode, and sources believe he would be tempted to pursue Jimmy G anyway. He was, especially if he's not pleased with Smith and Locke during training camp. But what about all that smoke and mirrors bullshit with Colin Kaepernick and signing Colin Kaepernick? Certain people kill me with their backdoor racism while people are trying not to be racist. Like, get the fuck out of here. So where does this leave Jimmy and the 49ers? They're inching closer towards resolving this high-profile impasse in an amicable, professional manner, in which is going to be complete within the next couple days that I'm going to predict. Anyway, that's it for that section. We are now talking to the 2023 NFL Draft breakout candidates at the wide receiver position. I had a little fun with this. Which wide receivers in the 2023 NFL Draft class offer the most breakout potential ahead of the 2022 campaign? Predictably, an Alabama receiver leads the pack, following the footsteps of 2021 breakout Jameson Williams, who was taken in by the Detroit Lions. Pick number 13, I believe. Anyway, Jermaine Burton. This guy's from Alabama, too. Jermaine Burton is perhaps the most anticipated breakout candidate of the 2023 NFL Draft cycle out of every position. And it's not even close. It's natural for the hype to be built around him. Arriving in Alabama, coming back from home this past summer or whatever. He's a formerly highly rated recruit, switching over from an up-and-down Georgia passing attack to a legitimate wide receiver factory led by Heisman-winning quarterback Bryce Young. The stars could very well align for Burton, which, like they aligned for Jameson Williams the year prior, even though Williams tore his ACL. Before any one-to-one comparisons emerge, Burton doesn't have the speed that Williams has. In fact, few players do. Burton isn't the same type of player, but he's a dynamic threat in his own right. At 6 foot 200 pounds, think Washington Commanders wideout De'Ami Brown. If I'm not butchering that. He's a very talented wideout who I believe hasn't got his chance to shine, and the rookie year was a bit of a bunch of blunders, to say the least. Burton has a strong frame, and he couples his size with sudden twitchability, change of direction. He doesn't lose a step in that department either. And agility against tight coverage, which is something that coaches look for in their wide receivers. He can cut stems with brutal quickness. It will leave your ankle over there while the rest of you is over there. And then explode into space, and then he's gone. He can extend beyond his frame for catches as well. And with Williams, John Mechie III, and Slade Bolden all gone, there's a void for Burton to fill. Catches, and this guy has everything just in front of him. Doug Walker Award, potentially be the best wideout in the nation this year. So it's going to be interesting to see how him and Bryce Young connect as the season goes on. Trey Palmer from Nebraska. Shout out to my boy, Central Golden Eagles from Springfield, Massachusetts, William Watson III, who committed to the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Anyway, Nebraska has been active in the transfer portal in recent years, albeit by necessity. Losing eventual second-round pick Wan'Dale Robinson in 2021 hurt them. But the Cornhuskers were able to somewhat recoup his impact by acquiring Samari Torre from the FCS level, community college. The transfer portal can help unlock unrealized potential in players. And the Cornhuskers are hoping that that's the case for Trey Palmer this year. He definitely has the physical attributes to back that up. Palmer is an extremely intriguing addition to Nebraska, former 5-star recruit from Kentwood, Louisiana, who doubled as a track star and a state champion in the 100-meter dash at 6'1", 190 pounds. Palmer is a phenomenal athlete with both speed and a short area freedom. Not twitch. Notice I said short area freedom. Like, whatever he does, he's going to make the catch. It's what happens after it and what you are going to do as a defender. determines the rest of the story there. And yet he logged like paltry, like career best numbers, like 30 catches, 344 yards, and 3 scores for LSU in 2021. That was all right. He could do better. Perhaps though, Palmer needed a change of scenery, and perhaps Nebraska is where he finally achieves a long-awaited breakout. Sorry, just some. Ooh, wow, big news coming in here about DK Metcalf. Let's finish with this. Anyway, Nick Mardner, the Cincinnati Bearcats, was trying to come out of the draft last year, but with the insane amount of talent that was on his team, went for him. He thought better of it to come back and try his talents out again for another year of school. Anyway, there are 2 types of breakouts that often coincide. There are statistical breakouts and there are conceptual breakouts. Unlike most on the list, you could argue, Nick Mardner already achieved his statistical breakout in 2021 when he put up 46 catches for 913 yards and 5 touchdowns at Hawaii. Could you, that average yards per catch, like come on, that's almost 2 first downs every time he catches the ball. That's insane. But while Mardner has already produced, he has yet to prove himself on the big stage and adding consistency to that as well. Now, having transferred to Cincy, he's looking to change that, and there's not much competition for catches within that wide receiver group. After losing Alec Pierce to the 2022 NFL Draft, the Bearcats are in need of a new boundary threat. Now, Alec Pierce was a master at those deep routes too, by the way. Mardner profiles well at that spot. Mardner takes what Pierce had in terms of size and kind of like expands on it. He's a massive 6'6" pass-catching threat with long arms and easy athleticism, and he's reportedly tacked on 25 pounds since arriving at Cincinnati. Just, you bring that toughness in there. Going from 190 to 215. No matter who wins the quarterback battle for Luke Fickell's squad, Mardner should be a premier target early on. As long as he stays healthy, could be one of the top wideouts in the nation. Jordan Watkins from Ole Miss. Naturally, any receiver in the Lane Kiffin offense is going to command some attention in preseason research period. And seeing that the Rebels lost Braylon Sanders, Dontario Drummond, and Jacora Pearson in the previous draft cycle, there's an opportunity for someone to emerge as the next premier receiver threat for the Ole Miss Rebels. On the receiving end of passes from transfer quarterback Jackson Dart, Jordan Watkins may be the one that steps up and says, this is mine, this is the takeover. Watkins initially played at Louisville, where he was a hometown kid making an early impact. He had a nice 2021 year, putting up 35 catches for 531 yards and 4 touchdowns, but decided to capitalize on that momentum and take a step up the program hierarchy. At Mississippi, Watkins' talent could be maximized. The 5'11", 190-pound receiver has field-stretching speed and burst, but also brings loose hips and easy change of direction in the rack phase. Yards after catch, runs after catch. This guy, Jaden Whaley from Mississippi State. Mississippi State quarterback Will Rogers passed for 4,739 yards and 36 touchdowns on 683 attempts last season. There are near-endless targets available in the Bulldogs' pass-happy offense, and a player that's poised to benefit in 2022 is junior star wideout Jaden Whaley. Whaley is already a known quantity for Mississippi State fans. Over his first 2 collegiate seasons, he amassed 107 catches, 1,346 yards, and 8 tuds. Nevertheless, this is Whaley's first season as an eligible prospect. His 2023 NFL Draft breakout may be up next. Who knows? Moving on swiftly. With Makai Polk heading to the NFL Draft and Malik Heath leaving through the transfer portal, almost 140 additional catches are freed up. Whaley has always been a valued weapon to the Bulldogs offense, but 2022 might see him become the premier threat that Polk was last year. Whaley is visibly more athletic than Polk at 6 foot, 185 pounds. He's explosive, but also has terse and short area quickness. And he brings enticing toughness at the catch point. Something we love. That is it for the 2023 NFL Draft. Breakout candidates, the wide receivers. Check back with us for episode 399. As you know, 400 starts July 25th. And that is YouTube only. WNBA, the lone game, Chicago Sky over the Seattle Storm, 78-75. Chicago wins 5th straight game to clinch a spot in the WNBA playoffs. Allie Quigley dropped 18 points on 3 for 5 shooting from behind the arc, and Emma Meserman had 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists. Chicago, the statement win. Later today, the New York Liberty at 9-16 face the 16-11 Washington Mystics. That starts at 11:30 a.m. Atlanta Dream are 12-14 at the LA Sparks, 11-14. That's at 3:30. Indiana Fever 5-23. Ouch! Against the Las Vegas Aces, 18-8 for 10 p.m. And the WNBA postseason is around the corner as well. August 14th is the day that it starts, and we will have more updates, insight, and things for you on that as well as the days pass. Thank you for your continued support of the show. This is episode 398. Love you all, wishing up health, success, and we will see you. That big one, 400, is coming up. Have a good night, everyone.